of Italy and France was where a lot of these people were, and the Catholic Church just basically sent the soldiers in just to wipe them out. Whole cost, just wipe out entire cities or towns anyway. And,
how do we know it was the Catholic Church?
It was the Pope who did the order. Pope Innocent III. He wasn't very innocent, was he?
Was it historically archived in the Vatican, or did they have the Vatican back then?
Oh yeah, they had the Vatican. It's been around a long time, but yeah, it's just this is recorded in history. I cite my sources in the book. I have several sources in the book where I got information about the Albigensian Crusade, basically the massacre of the Cathars. And
you mean you know what a bibliography is? Is that what you're talking about, a bibliography?
Yes, I have in the Open Walk of extensive bibliography references section. It has got the numbers go all the way up to 205. 205 different references.
Good lands. Well, tell people why. Tell people why we have a bibliography. Yeah, why'd you do that?
Well, it's all about, if I wanted to just write up a bunch of opinion in my book without having to cite any sources, that'd be okay, but I don't think it wouldn't be real valuable. But by having the bibliography with the reference section, that shows people, I'm not just making up statistics and pulling them out of the air. I have sources. These sources, various sources on the internet, various sources in actual print book, various sources of various types.
All right. Well, hold on now. Let me run. I'm going to run a commercial because you just were able to make me think about that.
It's a nonprofit volunteer organization dedicated to the scientific study of UFOs for the benefit of humanity. MUFON's goals are to objectively investigate UFO sightings and collect the data in the MUFON database for use by researchers worldwide, and to educate the public on the UFO phenomenon and its potential impact on society. The Mutual UFO Network is recognized as the leading UFO research and investigative organization on the planet, thanks to MUFON's vast network of dedicated volunteers, like-minded individuals who share the same interest in being part of a group that has brought UFO investigations into the new millennium. Are you interested in becoming a member of MUFON? There's never been a better time to join the network. So for more information, log on to MUFON.com. That's www.mufon.com.
All right. So, you were saying about bibliographies. Did you hear that?
I could hear it. I think it's just important, to cite your sources and to have various sources, because the factual parts anyway need to be backed up, and that's basically what I've done. Now, certainly there are places where I then take that and go into my point of view. It's inevitable. It's going to be there. It's not like I can't do that. My point of view is there. It's this. But yeah, my point of view is indeed still tempered by having a variety of sources where I'm looking at other people's point of view and comparing and contrasting my point of view with their point of view and throughout history. In fact, I even have a chapter that's devoted to that topic, which I call about the grand debate. I kind of look at the overview of history, and I think about, this philosopher, what he said, this other scientist, what they said, and it's in a way, in a manner of speaking, there is this ongoing debate that's going on. I can even debate Galileo, or I could debate Einstein, just in the written form. I don't have to historically be with these individuals. I can take what they thought and what they wrote down, and then I can give my thoughts in contrast or actually in harmony with their thoughts, and that all becomes part of the grand debate. And I'm not the only one who can do that. Everyone can do that. Anyone can do that. We can look at these other people's thoughts and other ideas throughout history and consider, okay, what do I think about that? Where do I stand in that grand debate throughout all of history? And so the grand debate doesn't occur at any one moment. It spans all of history, from the very beginning of humanity till the far future, whenever our last human breathes his last breath. So that's the span of time of the grand debate. We're in the middle of it. It's ongoing, and it only ends when we end. The grand debate with humans, anyway. You know, I guess you could say that grand debate could still continue with other sentient beings. So as long as there are sentient beings who think about stuff and contemplate and compare and contrast their ideas with others, then in that sense, on a universal cosmic level, the grand debate goes on till then. So the last thinking dies off. It's a long time.
Well, what about MUFON and all the guys that are splitting it up because they're going from the nuts and bolts? And so MUFON had, we had these little meetings in houses, and then we went into the libraries, and then, we're trying to get better and started having these little things. And you remember the Star Trek had the big things, that most people, because it was thought to be fiction at the time. But MUFON, Mutual UFO Network from 1969, there has got to be a reason after APRO, and I want people to look into all that. Well, the internet bits you even sentience, but you could be a speaker at MUFON, and because we're getting into this Mandela effect and how the ascension age is being taken over by speakers that we don't know where they're getting their information from, except out of their top of their mind, or dreaming it, or lucid dreams, such as Emery Smith and Corey Good and David Wilcock, which David was all about ascension, but I was back about that back in the 80s, and a lady that was on our board in Arizona, she helped write the books and, helped people, including Tony Stubbs. And anyway, I can get in all the details and mention, drop names and all that stuff. But I was all about ascension, and a man, because I was a psychic and working with people before who wanted to know everything in California there was about ascension. And, they were willing to. I flew back and forth between California and Hawaii. So, we've had these words, and I don't know if you would call it a religion, but I knew that I was impressed with the ascension when the tree split with, this is like Stan Lee, who listened to me on UFO Digest, is the Ascension Age, or the Ascension Center, was very important to me. And the picture I had on, I think, last night, and maybe people, if they click on from YouTube and come back to the blogtalkradio.com, TJ Mars ET Radio, they will find the picture that I got. And Bill, I think you've had it at one time, the one with the all the lines in it, and then you made some banners for Ascension Age, and the Ascension Center. So if we're not we're Ascension Center Club, but I don't know that we never agree. We're not really a religion, but I had the Ascension Center Awakening classes, Psychic Awakening classes. But now, since I've given all this stuff for free all these years, I'm seeing, like, the Contact in the Desert. And you know who I'm talking about, don't you? I know you and I, at one of the libraries, you went over and picked up one of the books, and it sort of freaked you out because I mentioned, and that's how you and I talked about David Wilcock, because he had just come out with a new book you wanted to read. I don't know if we were at Books A Million or had an authors club, but you have them at the where do you have your meeting now? And then you know what I'm talking about.
We have a meeting at Barnes and Noble is where we have our meeting. The local one here. But yeah, the book.
Oh, here's Ken. Hold.
Synchronicity.
Go ahead, and I'll put me on while I get Ken. Okay, you go ahead and talk.
I was just saying that the book you were referring to from David Wilcox was Synchronicity. And I did get that book. And it was a pretty good one. But you're right about one thing. A lot of those folks seem to have become much more commercial, and I think that some of them also kind of suffered a little bit of a credibility problem shortly after the 2012 when they were predicting, before that December 21st, 2012, how that the world was going to come to an end, and as of course it didn't. And so I think some of them kind of suffered some credibility problems in the aftermath of that, but and perhaps in some way as a result, there was a certain level of selling out going on. I don't know the details. I don't claim to know, but that's neither here nor there. In any event, what I'm trying to do with my book is, it's not about the money. I mean, sure, I have to sell it for a price because I've got to somehow make a living, and lately I've not been doing very well with that. But in any event, I think there's some real important ideas here that I hope that people will take the time to think about as they read through this book, because I think it really can help, like I said, as a kind of guidebook for the awakening age. A lot of people are waking up to see a bigger world, because I think we've become more and more global in our scope, and the result of that is the awakening age. And this book can kind of help us to find a pathway to navigate through this awakening age. And I heard you breathing, so you back?
I'm back, and I think I brought Tommy Hawksblood with me. Did I? Is that
no?
Tommy?
This is Mike from Singapore. How are you, Theresa?
Oh, hi,
Okay.
Mike. How are you tonight?
Mm-hmm.
You're calling in on Saturday. All right.
Yeah, I
Do
called
you know
you
Bill?
yesterday. Bill.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, but you forgot to look at your switch room, but that's okay. Today,
I was pretty involved. You're right. And I don't let just people come on, but I thought you were Tommy. But that's okay. You used to hang out with me and Tommy some. But anyway, welcome, Mike. This is Bill M. Tracer, so you haven't worked with him online yet, have you?
No, I have not. Yeah, I know you.
All right.
And yeah, but go ahead, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and I'm fixing to bring Ken on here, and Mike from Singapore. Mike, what kind of last name do you use these days, other than intelligence work? What kind of? Give me a name, a last name. Make
Mike?
one up or something. Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike. That's mine.
Mike Smith. Hold on, let me get.
Okay, Mike.
But Mike from Singapore. But you don't share your last name because you're working in.
Because they call us foreign workers here, and it's really difficult for us here. We don't. I mean, we do it. I mean, we talk freedom of speech. We have everything, but we have to understand. That right now we are going through the global chaos right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in the global chaos, you don't want to make sure you have at least some paycheck coming to you and surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fortunately, we're in the United States, and I don't feel so threatened. But I understand, Mike, being in Singapore. But let me let you listen for a minute and get Ken Johnston on here because I've got him billed. But, Mike, stay with us, and we'll get back to you and let Bill talk to you from Singapore. Ken Johnston from the United States of America is an aerospace engineer, and he has agreed to work with us in our ACO, Ascension Center Club, our ACO Association, UFO Association, and he's actually helping us build a show where we had Thursday nights with Daryl W. Sims and our Alien Hunters organization with him and Tommy Hawksblood. And Tommy's got his own channel and his own show now separately. And Daryl Sims is going all over the world with